Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Friday night football, chilly and drizzly Melbourne, Wembley Park. It is match week 12 of the Senol NPLW Victoria season, a campaign now beginning to bend toward its halfway mark. We are at the home of the champions, Box Hill United. Last weekend at Avondale brought frustration and a narrow defeat. A solitary goal enough to humble the title holders. Pythagoras search for a quick rebound this evening. Keilor Park, the visitors tonight, refusing to yield quietly to the demands of top-flight football. 2 wins from 11 may tell one story, but Liam Drury's side have taken points from 3 of its last 4, including a tireless, hard-earned stalemate against South Melbourne last weekend. So 2 old foes on Friday night football. Box Hill United and Keilor Park reunited for their first league meeting for 17 years. On the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Brent Sternberg is my name. Thanks for your company this evening. Box Hill United have made 3 changes from the side that lost to Avondale last week. Victoria Zekas and Grace Norbury go back to the bench. Gabby Simpson is out of the squad. Sarah Patkara, Summer Trask and Gracie Clarkson start in the 11 tonight for Box Hill. Natasha Stathopoulos is in goal. A back 4 of Sarah Petkaris, captain Sophia Paliwoda, Sydney Manerik and Amelia Tartalia. The 3-player midfielders Summer Trask, Pearl Teen and Yuri Kawano. The front 3 of Erin Keat, third in the Golden Boot race, Chiara Bocelli, and a starting debut for Box Hill for Gracie Clarkson. Keilor Park have made 1 change from the side that drew 0-0 with South Melbourne. Summer Kapanekia is out of the team with injury, replaced by Runa Commodori. So the goalkeeper is Maggie Byrne, goalkeeper of the week last week. The back 4 of Mia Power, Kennedy Latham, Amelia Ingles and Chloe Harmon. The 4-player midfield of Annika Gallagher, Runa Commodori, Tamsin Smith and Abby Connolly. And the dual striking partnership of Captain Maggie Lena and Caitlin Tamal. On the bench for Box Hill, Grace Norbury and Victoria Zekas. They go back to the bench where they are joined by Jessie Armstrong, Maho Murakami and Nicolina Bacello. The reserve goalkeeper for Pythagoras is Keely Segovic. Keilor Park on the bench is Kaylin Sutton, Georgia Thackeray, Michaela Chukanota. Youngsters Lauren Sabatino and Mackenzie Ruchaman get their first appearance in the matchday squad up from the under-20s. Keilor Park's reserve goalkeeper is Jacqueline Broadfoot. Now, officials in the middle tonight Out in the middle is Sebastian Sterrell. Our assistants are Pietro Canidi and Yuval Olyanitsky, and the fourth official is Miles Hegazzi. Box Hill United in the blue. They're going to kick us off from right to left, looking to respond after that disappointing showing at Avenger Park last week. And Keilor Park make the trip from the western suburbs to the inner north to take on Box Hill United. Keilor Park are in the white kits this evening with the grey shorts and socks. It is their away strip. And off we go. Friday night football, one of two fixtures this evening. Kicking off at 8:30 tonight, we have Spring Hills and Bulleen in this incredibly tight NPLW Victoria season, as Harmon and Trask go to battle early on, and in the first minute of the match, Box Hill United will take a corner kick. More on the way that the table is shaping up in just a moment. Sarah Petkaris races over to deliver this set piece for the home side tonight. There's a swag of players congregating, interestingly, just outside the 18-yard box. A move from the set piece perhaps in towards the goalkeeper, Maggie Byrne. It just skims off her gloves. Retrieved by Erin Keat, who doubles back, fires it in towards the 18-yard box. And it's a strike from Sydney Manerick that gets Box Hill United off to the dream start. Keilor Park might have come here with a plan. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And Keilor Park are spitting blood at Wembley. Second goal of the season for the American defender. She scored on match day 1 against the Essendon Royals. And Box Hill United, in the first 90 seconds of the match, are on top. Box Hill United 1, Keilor Park 0. Pythagoras, who last week in that lost to Avondale. 10 shots, 4 on target. Obviously no goals. Avondale had 13 shots, also 4 on target. Box Hill United shaded the possession in that match, 53%. Now pressing again, early days here. Here's Erin Keats. Dazzling, striking into the side netting. 2 great opportunities already in the first 2.5 minutes, and already Erin Keats at the forefront of everything going forward for Pythagoras. Erin Keat, who did score against Keilor Park last season, playing in the VPLW for Southern United, returns to Pythagoras this season and has returned in a blaze of glory. Missed that match day 1, lost to Essendon. And since then, 10 goals. Here's Commodore battling with a couple in Pythagoras blue. Mia Power lofting it in towards the penalty area. Paliwada brings it down. Here is our debutant, Gracie Clarkson. It's not her NPLW debut. She did make 11 appearances for the FV emerging side in 2024. It is her starting debut for Box Hill United this evening. Looks like she started... Where is she? In the heart of midfield. We thought Box Hill may have rolled up tonight in a 4-3-3. In fact, it looks like Gracie Clarkson has rocked up. Is she in the back 4? No, she is in the midfield 3. Sydney Manerick and Paliwada in the heart of defence. Great cross in from Box Hill United. That was from Amelia Tartaglia. Maggie Byrne watches it sail across the 6-yard box and out of play. And so we'll take a breath, and I'll get back to what I was trying to speak about before Sydney Manerick rudely interrupted with a goal. 4 teams coming into match week 12 on the same record. The top 4 teams, all of them on 22 points, 7 wins, a draw and 3 losses. Box Hill United, one of those. They are in second, so the top four all separated by goal difference only, as that one's played out of play by Tamsin Smith. Bulleen on top of the goal difference, an extraordinary goal difference, in fact, of plus 21. Box Hill plus 19. Essendon Royals in third, plus 15. Burundurra in fourth, plus 10. Heading towards the halfway mark of the season. We will officially be there after the fixtures that we have next weekend. Everybody will have played everybody once, and we'll go round the merry-go-round again. Pearl-Teen carrying the ball forward. Here's Kawano. Nicholson. She's been very impressive early. Here's Chiara Bocelli. Been one of the best players in all of the NPLW this season. Playing on that left flank for Pythagoras. Ball out of play. Keilor Park down in 12th position on the table. Two wins, 4 draws and 5 losses. Oars. Box Hill player, Tantalia, I think that was, who stood on the ball and slipped over. Tidied up in midfield by Pearl-Teen. Now Summer Trask back in the starting 11 tonight. Nicholson again. Might have had more touches already than any of her teammates. Clarkson, I should say. Gracie Clarkson, 19-year-old. And 10 points on the season for Keilor Park. They are out of the drop zone at the moment. 4 points clear of the Melbourne City Academy girls, who are second last on 6 points, and then the Bentley Greens holding up every other side on the table. The only team this season yet to take a point from a match. Petkaris into the 18-yard box. Kennedy Leighton's header. Keats couldn't bring it down. Clarkson retreating for Petkaris. Box Hill United back in possession. This will likely be the pattern that the match will take tonight. Box Hill United, they are second in the league, as that ball ricochets all the way back to Maggie Byrne. Second in the league for average time spent in possession this season, Box Hill, averaging just a tick under 56%. Only the Essendon Royals have averaged more time in possession this season. Keilor Park averaging just under 39% possession per game. That's second last in the 14-team division. Team sending Box Hill United on their way forward again. Summer Trask up against Chloe Harmon. Trask trying to get beyond the left back for Keilor Park. And the ball has gone behind for a goal kick. Trying to play the ball out from the back. Keilor Park run themselves into trouble. Luckily, Yuri Kawano slipped over, and that allowed Amelia Ingles a second chance. Here's Kennedy Leighton, 24-year-old American. It's her first season in the NPLW. She's come over from Lane United in America and previously at Colorado University, originally from Eugene, Oregon. Does look like Keilor Park have stationed themselves in the 4-4-2. Looks like Commodore is playing as a striker alongside Caitlin Tamal. With it looks like Maggie Lena playing out on the left flank. That's where Summer Kapanekia was playing last week. Summer copped a what looked like a serious injury in that draw with South Melbourne last week, so we hope that Summer is back up and running soon. Long ball forward from Leighton, header flicked on by Commodore, tidied up by our goal scorer, Sid Menerick. Back to Natasha Statopoulos. Made her first appearance last week her first start of the season with Keely Segovic absent. Keely back in the squad this evening, but takes her place on the bench. Erin Keita's let that one run, and it will find Chiara Bocelli. Good defending there from Mia Power. Her and her defensive teammates will have to do a power of work, no doubt, again tonight. They did really well to stay disciplined last week and keep their defensive shape in that 0-0 draw against South Melbourne, Keilor Park. And no doubt they'll try and look to give a little bit more going forward tonight than they did last week. Here's Bocelli in swinging cross. Didn't quite get that one as she intended, and it ends up on the roof of the net. First 10 minutes have raced by here at Wembley, where Box Hill have put on a show this season. 5 wins from their 7 home games, the only loss coming surprisingly on the first night of the season here to the Essendon Royals. Amelia Ingles retreating to Maggie Byrne, who hoofs it up the pitch. Well, Manerick brings it down. It's well retrieved by Clarkson. Long ball forward, looking to recruit the run of Yuri Kawano. A little bit too much sauce on that one from the Box Hill United captain, Sophia Paliwoda. They've scored 18, now 19 goals at home this season. Pythagoras only conceded 7 in those previous 7 matches. 3 clean sheets. They've had some dominant performances here this season. They made a mess of Heidelberg United earlier on in the campaign. Here's Bocelli rolling forward, shooting from distance, trying to get that ball going either side of Maggie Byrne, and instead it's well taken by the young goalkeeper. As I mentioned, was in the team of the week last week, Maggie Byrne. She's come over from Preston to play for Keilor Park this season. And if not for Maggie Byrne last week, Keilor Park would not have taken a point away from that matchup with South Melbourne. But Karas lofting it in, headed away by Ingles. And now Maggie Lena picks it up in midfield and is sick of defending, trying to come bursting forward. Ran into Tartaglia. It's well played by the young defender. Actually picked up a foul in there. Now official in the middle there plays advantage, Sebastian Sterrell. Box Hill United playing from side to side. They have been happy to sit off so far, Keilor Park. It's one of the rare moments there, Runa Commodore coming up to press and again backing away. Backing in their defensive grid. Happy for Box Hill United to pass the ball east and west. For those of you that have maybe just joined us on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel, you'll be seeing the score as 0-0. That is incorrect. Box Hill United lead 1-0. A goal for Sydney Manerick in the 2nd minute of the match. Box Hill United are in front. We do have a lot of matches taking place across Melbourne and indeed Victoria tonight. This is one of 2 NPLW fixtures, but we've got a lot of matches in the NPL Victoria men's competition, 5 of them, I think. So it is Box Hill United 1, Keilor Park 0. Box Hill dominating in possession. That early goal, you would have to think, will force Keilor Park out of their shell. It's exactly what they did not want. Keilor Park, you never want to concede an early goal. They come here as underdogs this evening. Looking to try and upset the apple cart and on the back foot after the first set piece given away of the night. And Box Hill United scoring their 10th goal this season in the first 15 minutes of their matches. That is by far and away number one in the league. They are a team that like to shop early. Good battle in midfield, tidied up by Yuri Kawano. Sarah Petkaris now for Box Hill. Bocelli being stalked by Power. Bocelli cutting her way inside. Kawano back for Bocelli. Nice little flick heel to find the New Zealander. The white shirts descend upon her rather quickly. Tartaglia. That would be cross takes a touch. Cleared by Amelia Ingles. Manerick and Pallywater. Clarkson, Bocelli, and now Petkaris, who's into the 18-yard box. The cutback, the turn from Kawano, the strike from Erin Keats. Did it take a touch? No. The Box Hill striker just scraping that one up and over the frame of the goal. A lovely play from Box Hill United to pick the gaps and find their way forward. Nice touch there from Kawano to set up Erin Keat, but Erin was maybe just a little bit too concerned about all of the shirts in front of her. She knew that she had to give it a bit of elevation. In the end, too much. 10 goals and 1 assist this season for Erin Keat. Scored that hat-trick on match day 2 against Bentley. Can chalk her up for 2 assists now, Erin, after cracking open that goal for Sydney Manerick. Just over quarter of an hour played here at Wembley Park. Clarkson and Kawano slipping over, not for the first time tonight. They're going to try and spring forward on the counter-attack Keilor Park, but some of their passes have been a little bit errant, and they have absolutely been few and far between. They're going to have to treat the football like gold when they get possession this evening. Box Hill United in this first 17 minutes, they would have had close to 90% possession. Clarkson. Manerick. Meandering forward and doubling back. Caitlin Tamar holding up the stop sign. No through road. Back with Gracie Clarkson and now Pearl Teen. And Gracie Clarkson, I mentioned, made 11 appearances in 2024 for FE Emerging and come through the junior ranks at South Melbourne. The 20th league meeting between these two sides, but first in a long, long time. Their last meeting, April 24, 2009. It was match day 3 in the Victorian Premier League Women's. It was here at Wembley Park. Box Hill Inter, as they were then known, won 12 goals to 1. This is a nice turn there by Nicholson. Threading it through for Chiara Bocelli. Oh, yes! Gracie Clarkson will take the assist. Chiara Bocelli will take the goal, and Box Hill United double their lead with barely 20 minutes having ticked away here at Wembley Park. Chiara Bocelli's 4th goal of the season. It's normally Chiara doing the assisting. She is the number 1 player in the league this season for assists, 11 this season. And an assist on starting debut for Box Hill United for Gracie Clarkson. And already not even a third of the way through this match. This looks like it may be a long night ahead for Keilor Park. Box Hill United players after that goal just heading over to the bench. Get some instructions from their coach, Kogalan Sabratnam. Championship winning manager, Trask to Bocelli, who goes down on the edge of the penalty area and draws a foul. Much to the chagrin of the Keilor Park players. And so a set piece here in a very threatening area. Haven't scored a lot of goals from set pieces this season, Box Hill United. The ones that they have scored have generally come from corner kicks. And who will it be to take the ascendancy here? The captain, Sophia Paliwoda, stands over it. That's Paliwoda. Oof. Well, she's never scored a goal in the NPLW. This is her 35th appearance. Took it pretty casually, just couldn't bring it on down in time. Once again, Keilor Park looking to try and play out from the back. They've been set upon savagely by the Box Hill midfielders. Keita, nice little touch to set herself up for a shot potentially. Doubling back on the right foot. Kawano, Trask at the byline in towards the penalty spot. Cleared awkwardly by Ingles. Brought down by Clarkson. And that's the first mistake she's made tonight. Gracie Clarkson giving the ball away in midfield. Once again, if you've just joined us on the stream on our NPL Victoria YouTube channel, you'll be seeing a scoreline of Box Hill United 2, Box Hill United 0, Keilor Park 2. You can adjust your sets because that is incorrect. It's Box Hill United 2, Keilor Park 0. Goals for Sydney Manerick and Chiara Bocelli. And if you are a Keilor Park fan and you've missed the first 20 minutes and you've just tuned in, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That scoreline is incorrect. Would have been quite a turn-up if Keilor Park had scored 2 goals against the defending champions in the first 20 minutes. In reality, they have barely had a touch inside their attacking penalty area. That might have been the first one. Power taken away from her by Erin Keats. They fight over the throw-in and it goes the way of Pythagoras. I do like the floral, I think it's floral, the pattern in any case on the Keilor Park shirt, away shirt, but a little bit tricky to read the numbers from afar. Keilor Park this season have beaten the Melbourne Victory Academy girls and the struggling Bentley Greens. Drawn with Spring Hills, Alamein, Preston and South Melbourne. And they have lost this season to Bulleen, Avondale, Melbourne City, Essendon and Heidelberg United. I was mentioning the last league meeting between these two teams, Match Day 3 2009. That was actually the last match that Keilor Park played in the top division before sadly having to withdraw from the competition. They spent the rest of the season, the rest of that particular campaign, as Box Hill are on the prowl again. It's another corner for Pythagoras. They played the rest of that 2009 season in the State League Division 3 Northwest, and it's taken them more than a decade and a half to find their way back in to the top division. Well, we've got our scoreline correct. Box Hill United 2, Keilor Park nil. What are you laughing at, Raman? Our cameraman. Looking to build with a third goal here. Bocelli takes it short. Peltine curling in towards the 18-yard box. Pekaris just needed a glancing header, and then Kawano's attempted cross, I think we'll put that down to, was deflected but off a teammate and behind for a goal kick. First corner that they've taken short tonight, Box Hill United. Keilor Park established in 1957 as Austria. They first fielded a women's side in 1998. Two-time cup winners. They're the only two major trophies that the women's side have won. All Box Hill United jump on the error. Erin Keats doesn't quite find Bocelli. Turned away by Mia Power. A difficult one there for Petkaris to control. Paliwoda. Petkaris, every time I have called Box Hill United these past couple of seasons, I've been very impressed by their youngster at left back, Sarah Petkaris. She's young, only 17. But has been really a walk-up starter for the last two seasons. Her 8th appearance for 2026, 7 starts, was absent last week in that loss to Avondale. Been a Box Hill junior since 2021, and Sarah Petkaris come over from Monash City. Suffered the dreaded ACL injury in 2023. Returned in 2024 and was a member of the championship winning squad last season. Only made 9 appearances last year, all of them from the bench, including in the grand final. Here she is, Petkaris, in towards the back post. No one there. Eventually Summer Trask arrives. She's challenged by Harmon. Harmon then kicks it straight into Summer Trask. And the attack stays alive. Keat on the turn. Might sit up here for Petkaris. Well played defensively there by Mia Power. Ricochets behind for a goal kick. Got our cameraman Raman on deck tonight. Our broadcasting crew accidentally sending 2 cameramen to this game, so they had to fight to the death. Raman won with flying colours. That's just a joke. Nicholson and Clarkson, now Paliwoda. Still not interested in threatening Box Hill United when in possession. This might break all sorts of records tonight, Box Hill, for amount of passes that they've had in a match. Manerick, who got the show started in just the 2nd minute of the game. Gracie Clarkson, who I have incorrectly referred to as Nicholson a couple of times. I do apologise. Starting to learn her name, though. She's been ever present. Mentioned earlier that Keilor Park are 2-time cup winners here in Victoria, as are Box Hill United. Last one in 2012, and prior to that, 1990. Bocelli. Kawano stretching at her limits and at the precipice of the 18-yard box. Or long ball played forward by Tamal. I think she was expecting the run of Runa Commodore, and again a waste. They're really battling to even get into possession. Keilor Park, and when they do, got to come up with something better than what Caitlin Tamal just produced. Of course, the next game that these two teams play will be in the Nike FC Cup. Both these teams will back up again on Wednesday night. It's the fourth round of the Nike FC Cup. It's the first round that the top flight teams enter. Box Hill United with a big clash coming up on Wednesday night here at Wembley Park. They'll take on Burundurra. Two teams in the top four in league play, and two teams that have squads that could potentially go on and win the cup, but one of them will be eliminated on Wednesday night. Bocelli prodded it past Maggie Byrne, and then it fell back onto the toe of the Kiwi, who incredibly wasn't able to double her tally. The net was there, it was open, it was gaping, it was inviting. And Bocelli declined the invitation, and somehow Keilor Park survive again. So that one just whistles past the near upright. Well done by Maggie Byrne, initially there to make that save. Magdalena Commodore for Keilor Park. Overwhelmed by the blue shirts. That looked like it come off Petkaris, but Box Hill United win the throw. One ball forward for Monerick, headed by Tamsin Smith. Box Hill back in possession. Keilor Park in the cup on Wednesday night. They're going to have a little road trip. They're going to play Altona City on Wednesday night. They're a side in the State League 1 Northwest. Because we have already had the fourth round of the Nike FC Cup begin. There was a match last night between Faulkner and Craigieburn City. Craigieburn winning 4-2. So they're the first team into the fifth round. Or the fifth round is also the round of 16 for those that maybe prefer the modern football terminology. Oh, Tamal lunging. It might sit here for Commodore. No, she pulls out. Monerick takes it instead. Clarkson. Petkaris. Bocelli on the turn, happy to retreat. Back to the skipper. Tantalia. Woda, long range effort, but Karras' first touch was a little loose. Grappling with Magdalena. Bocelli comes in to defuse the situation. A penny for the thoughts of Gracie Clarkson right now. I wonder if she's thinking, top flight football here in Victoria, this is easy. I'm sure she's not thinking that. Hasn't looked out of place though, it's been tremendous. One might have thought that coming here tonight, Box Hill might have rotated their squad a little bit more with anticipation of that big cup match on Wednesday night. Just the 3 changes. 3 changes from the side that lost to Avondale last week. It really was Box Hill United's first genuine disappointing result of the season. It was the 3rd game that they have lost. Match week 1 loss to Essendon. I mean, you can disregard round 1 results. Oftentimes they then lost that match to Burundurra about 5 or so weeks ago. That was a game that they took the lead in, and then Burundurra come from behind to win 2-1. That was a terrific game of football, as Clarkson does well to beat Tamal in midfield. But last week they really didn't look themselves. They had a lot of players in the lineup last week, Box Hill, that put in their worst performances of the season so far. Trask, has she won a corner there? I think she has. Another set piece pending for Pythagoras, as Sarah Petkaras wanders over to take. Taken short again. 10. Back for Petkaras. Lofts it in towards the penalty spot. They're all rushing in. And Yuri Kawano heads it home, but the offside flag is raised. And that brilliant ball in from Petkaras is lost to history. Had 4 players there, Box Hill, that could have gotten on the end of that. And the only one that was offside was the one who put it in the net. Yuri Kawano scored 6 goals this season. Clarkson trying to thread the eye of the needle. Erin Keat is keeping Maggie Byrne honest. Yuri Kawano, 11th appearance of the season. Her 11th start, 6 goals and 2 assists. First year player from Yokohama FC Seagulls. Back home in her native Japan in Division 1. It's a very Anglo nickname for a Japanese football side. Bocelli. Tartaglia. Pelliwoda now for Box Hill United, with some room to roll. Look how deep they are sitting, Keilor Park. All Powers touch, not a good one. It's Yuri Kawano, who lofts it over the goalkeeper and the goal frame.
Let's go, Keilor!
And the chances keep on coming for the home side. Might have done better there, Yuri Kawano. Keilor Park's manager is Liam Drury. 3rd season at Keilor Park. Joined from the Preston Lions, where he was coaching in the under-19s and has formerly had roles at Southern United and Essendon Royals. Bocelli, Kawano, tees up Erin Keats. Tries to play it in between the gaps in the Keilor Park back 4. The deflection comes back to Erin Keats. And that pass peters out. The appreciative applause from Yuri Kawano. No further harm done. They would do well, Keilor Park, to just try and get into the halftime break with no further damage being done to the score. As we have an injury here to one of the Keilor Park players, who's gone down in a heap. And immediately they call for the trainer. Just trying to catch a glimpse of who that was. It might have been Tamsin Smith, I think. Referee not taking any chances. Waving the play to a halt immediately, so both teams will take the opportunity to come together into their 2 collective huddles. It's as good as a timeout for Keilor Park. Player just being helped to her feet. Does look to be Tamsin Smith, Keilor Park's number 8. who is leaving the pitch on her own steam, on her own accord, which is good. So Keilor Park are going to play with 10 players for the time being. Let's see how Box Hill United go trying to pick the 10-player Keilor Park apart. Tamsin's just having a chat with the physios. Can they strike here while the iron is hot or while the iron is lacking? Tartaglia. Summer Trask. A couple of little pump fakes and then smashes it into Chloe Harmon. Abby Connolly got involved there. It's the first time I've said her name tonight. Oh, stepping in. Ingles did well in the end. And now here's Caitlin Tamal looking to try and send Magdalena on her way. Good work from Pekaris. Here's Bocelli. Still Keilor Park rolling with 10 players. Team. Trask. Kawano. Losing her footing. Trask trying to retrieve. Going backwards momentarily, Pythagoras. Tartaglia. And the offside flag in the end is raised. Keeping our eye on Tamsin Smith here. It looks like she will be about to rejoin us. Or will she? She's taking a drink out of the esky. It does look like she's ready and raring to go. Just took that heavy fall a couple of minutes ago. And they have racked up a few injuries this season. Keilor Park, I mentioned earlier, Summer Kapanekia hurt last week in that 0-0 draw with South Melbourne. Clarkson. And Bocelli. Erin Keat just lurking in between two defenders. Teen back for Bocelli. Now Trask. Does she hit this one first time? She doesn't. She hits it second time and she rifles it right across the 6-yard box. And, well, it was well hit if you're talking in terms of a shot, but when you consider that was probably a cross as Summer Trask intended, maybe it could have done a little better. Tamsin Smith back out there now. Meandering our way towards half-time here on a very chilly Friday night at Wembley Park in Box Hill, where it's been all Box Hill. 2 goals to the good, goals in the 2nd minute to Sydney Manerick and then in the 20th minute to Chiara Bocelli. There's been a collection of good opportunities to go alongside those 2 goals for Pythagoras. Yuri Kawano had a goal ruled out for offside. And Keilor Park have seldom crossed the halfway line. Bocelli running it, Magdalena, and then crossing it in. It was well placed. It didn't quite reach Kawano. Hooked away by Tamal. Oh, Petkaris brought that down beautifully. Referee Sebastian Starrell almost getting involved. Again, they try and make the pitch as wide as possible. Box Hill, Trask, Kawano. That one banged away by Harmon. Across the 18-yard box. Power and Clarkson. And Clarkson trying to get it forward with just brute force. Maggie Byrne will collect. Well done there by Tamal to recycle possession. Amelia Ingles again trying to create something with that long ball forward. That ain't working tonight for Keilor Park. Got to be a little bit more thoughtful than that. Waiting for the word from our fourth official, Miles Hagazi. There's Petkaris lofting it into the near post, too close for Maggie Byrne. Can't imagine there'd be too much stoppage time added on. I know we've had 2 goals, but only that one injury time stoppage for Tamsin Smith. Keilor Park crawling their way to half-time. Is there one more to take into the sheds for Box Hill? Trask. Teen. Retreating for Tartaglia. Just the 1 minute of stoppage time added on, as I'm sure you can see on your screens there. Got to dig their heels in here, Keilor Park. You don't want to be counting the seconds away. How keen are they on a third? Pythagoras. Back and forth they go. Trask. Showing great intent tonight. Down that right wing. Oh, almost able to keep that one alive. It's out of play for a Keilor Park throw-in right next to the corner flag. As the last few seconds of this first half tick away. Harmon's long ball forward disappears over the fence. And that is half-time. A difficult first half for Keilor Park coming here tonight against the defending champions. And Box Hill United sit on a 2-goal cushion at the intermission. Some will try and tell you that's the most dangerous scoreline in football. It feels pretty safe here tonight for Box Hill United. Goals in the first 20 minutes for Sydney Manerick and Chiara Bocelli. And quite honestly, Keilor Park have offered very little going forward. There's no shots on goal to tell you about for the away side tonight. Something will have to change in this second half if Keilor Park are to shock the world in the second 45. Brent Sternberg is my name here with our cameraman Rahman and our other cameraman Brett, who is still alive. He's here as well. The score here at the intermission at Wembley Park. Box Hill United 2, Keilor Park 0. Welcome back to Wembley Park, where the score at half-time here is, as you can see on your screen, no doubt, Box Hill United 2, Keilor Park 0. Brent Sternberg is my name here at a very chilly Wembley Park. 13 degrees, our Football Victoria thermometer is telling us. Be surprised if it actually is that warm. It feels single digits. Box Hill United with a 2-goal lead and looking pretty comfortable for most of that first 45, or all of it really. There's been one change to tell you about at half-time. It's been made by Keilor Park. Tamsin Smith, who took that big fall early in that, late I should say, in that second half, has been replaced by youngster Michaela Chukanutta. So one change for Keilor Park, a change out of necessity rather than unforced. Here's an opportunity for Keilor Park. It's set up nicely for Maggie Lena. They did not have a shot on goal in the first half, Keilor Park. They barely had a touch inside their attacking penalty area. It really was a dominant performance from the defending champions in the Senol NPLW Victoria. This is match week 12. Box Hill looking to get maximum points and go to the top of the table, separate themselves from that group of 4 that we've all got locked together coming into the weekend of football. There is another match kicking off right about now, actually, between Spring Hills and Bulleen. Bulleen, one of those 4 teams looking to establish themselves on top of the table. Here's another long ball forward. That was from Kennedy Layton. Runa Commodore gives chase. Sydney Manerick, who is fleet of foot, gets there first. The goal scorers, I should say, in that first half for Box Hill United, Sydney Manerick and Chiara Bocelli. They did have one more goal that was ruled out for offside, Box Hill. That was a Yuri Kawano header. One or two other nice opportunities. And all told, despite how dominant Box Hill were in possession, Keilor Park defended pretty well. The 2 goals that they conceded were from terrific individual play and collective play as well, I suppose, from Box Hill United, particularly that second Chiara Bocelli goal. Terrific pass from Tartaglia. Trask at the byline, fizzes it in. Oh, it cuts past everybody somehow. And here is Michaela Chukanutta, the substitute for Keilor Park. It's just her second appearance of the season. She did come on off the bench last week in that 0-0 draw against South Melbourne. She's a 20-year-old, come over to Keilor Park this season from the Essendon Royals. Ball forward here. Maggie Byrne has it covered. 2 goals in 19 appearances for the Royals last season in the under-20s. Former Calder United player and Caroline Springs George Cross player before that. I just wonder what Keilor Park manager Liam Drury might have said at half-time to try and get a little bit more attacking impetus. Offered up almost nothing in the first half. Already it's been a better start to the second. A throw in adjacent to the 18-yard box. A long throw in, a little bit too tall for Maggie Lena. Over the head of Tartaglia. And back out of play. But for all the dominance that Box Hill United had, it's only a 2-goal lead. It feels big, but it's only 2 goals. The ball bounces inside the 18-yard box. Aguilina trying to dig out a shot there, surrounded by the blue shirts. Up comes Amelia Ingles. The awkward bouncing ball for Stathopoulos. And all of a sudden, some nervy moments defensively for Box Hill United. They had a first 45 where they cruised the players in the back 4 and goalkeeper Natasha Stathopoulos. Box Hill on the charge. Keats. Down goes Erin Keat. That's well played there by Annika Gallagher. It's an awkward touch from Tamal. Commodore. And back now for Mia Power. And look at this. Keilor Park have some possession. Retreating. And Maggie Byrne. Long ball forward straight to Summer Trask. And Kawano. Trask and Harmon reacquainting themselves with one another, this time on the near side of the pitch. Trask can't thread the ball through. Shoulder to shoulder with Caitlin Tamal. Tartalia. Peliwata. Pikaris. Nice work out wide, but Shelley skips past one, skips past two, and puts the football onto the roof of my Honda Civic. Just reminding you, our officials out in the middle is Sebastian Sterl. Assistants tonight, Pietro Canidi and Yuval Ulianitsky. And our fourth official is Miles Hagazzi. Tartalia. Trask working on the back shoulder of Chloe Harmon. Back for Tartalia. She's really established herself in the Box Hill starting 11 this season. Joined the champions from the Bentley Greens. Sure, she's feeling pretty good right about now about that move. Not to be too disparaging towards the struggling Bentley side. Trask, another one who has returned to the 11 tonight. He's a mainstay in the starting 11 earlier this season after starting in the under-20s this season. Here's Bocelli running at the Keilor Park defence. Teen, that was a nice little turn. Tartalia. Pythagoras plot their way forward again. Trask lofting it in awkwardly. Maggie Byrne backpedaling. Pulls it out of the frosty night sky. Well, it only takes one moment to score a goal. That's not very good football analysis, but if they can just find one moment, pinch a goal here, Keilor Park, would work by Commodore. This game would look and feel very different if it were to read 2-1. Magilena, Chickenotta at the stretch. I think it's just gotten past her. You can understand if Keilor Park come here tonight incredibly wary of the threat that Box Hill United possess, but I think the Keilor Park coaches and certainly the fans would have liked to have seen a little bit more initiative, a little bit more proactivity with the ball in that first half. Or Kawano, after Leighton slipped over in towards Erin Keat, who had a shot stymied, blocked and then turned away by Harmon. Chickenotta throwing on the far side for Keilor Park. They haven't lost this season, Box Hill, in leading at half-time. Good work on the far side by Gallagher. Magilena, I should say, excuse me. Clarkson loved her first half. Making her first start for Box Hill United and has an assist. Tartalia, long ball. Maggie Byrne comes to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's not going to get there. So Kennedy Leighton has to intervene. Oh, Trask, that was a lovely touch. Kawano's returning ball didn't quite reach her. Chickenotta. Don't think she realised how much time she had there. She could have taken a touch. Could have taken multiple, in fact. Michaela Chickenotta. Long diagonal ball. Brought down beautifully by Bocelli. Trying to get beyond Mia Power. The slippery Chiara Bocelli strikes from distance. And it's parried away by Maggie Byrne. Didn't want to take any chances. Ball swerving through the air, and corner kick for Box Hill United. Here comes Sarah Petkaris. Taking a few of these set pieces short tonight, Box Hill United. Doesn't look like that's going to be on the cards here. Once again, they all assemble at the edge of the penalty area. Petkaris sends it in towards the goal line. It's headed away by Leighton. Commodore, and forward for Chukanota, who gives chase. Manerick again wins the foot race, and then just as she went to pass, I think she might have stubbed her toe. The ball is now in the possession of Keilor Park. It's Chloe Harmon. Made her first start last week, Chloe Harmon, her second tonight. Another one to come over from the Essendon Royals and originally from New South Wales, Sydney Olympic, Peltine. Clarkson. Petkaris. This looking a little bit more like the first half. Box Hill United passing it around at the back under no pressure at all. Keilor Park slip into their 4-4-2 block. Of course, we do have the mid-season transfer window coming up early next month. The A-League women's players at the completion of that season will be returning. It'll be interesting to see who Box Hill United get access to and who loses their spot in the starting 11. Because last season, as the ball's out of play there for a Keilor Park goal kick, last season they got access to some game-changing talent. And we're going to have a change here for Box Hill. Sarah Petkaris is coming off, and as is Gracie Clarkson, who's been terrific tonight. In fact, we're having a triple change. Peltine's also being removed. And coming on for Box Hill United, Victoria Zekas, Karina Todorova, Maho Murakami, I think I saw there. And Nicolina Bacallo. So a quadruple change for Pythagoras. Summer Trask has also come off. No doubt this is with the midweek football coming up next week and just trying to keep the squad as fresh as possible. Box Hill obviously playing Keilor Park tonight, and then next week in the league they're playing the Melbourne City Academy girls, and with all due respect to their opposition tonight and next week, that match against Burundurra in the Cup on Wednesday night, at least on paper, is by far the toughest. So just trying to change things around and keep some players fresh. Victoria Zekas has popped up on the near side here at right back. She was in the starting 11 last week. Just a correction, that was Grace Norbury who come on, not Karina Todorova, so my mistake. Difficult to keep abreast of a quadruple change. Spichelli into the 18-yard box, turned away by Annika Gallagher. Abby Connolly, I should say. What that means is they only have one outfield player left on the bench. Box Hill. That being young Jessie Armstrong. Keely Segovic is the other player on the bench, the reserve goalkeeper. It's all getting a little bit messy over there in the corner. And a free going the way of Keilor Park. So Sarah Petkaris, Summer Trask, Gracie Clarkson, and Pearl Teen all coming off for Norbury, Zikas, Murakami and Bukello. Are we all across that run and we're all good? 4 changes. As we go past the hour mark here at Wembley Park. It's been a more competitive second 45. Magdalena. Oh, difficult one there for Connolly. They concede possession. Bocelli wandering forward. Look out, she's about to be mugged from behind by Chikanotta. Out for Bukello. Murakami the cutback. Bukello looking to tee up Bocelli, who fires it straight at the goalkeeper. A couple of times tonight that Bocelli has struck the football with serious venom. But if you're firing it straight at the goalkeeper, particularly a young goalkeeper as talented as Maggie Byrne, it's going to save it 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10. Just back on that topic of the A-League players coming back. Box Hill, of course, they've had Sophia Sakalis the past few seasons. Rihanna Policina the last couple of years. Of course, Karina Rossi, who'd come back to play for Pythagoras last season, scored those 2 goals in the grand final. They did have Josephine Olasino as well last year. She was a player that was recruited from America and earned herself an A-League contract as a result of her terrific play in this league. There's a foul going the way of Box Hill here on the far side. Of course, they were languishing in mid-table last year, Box Hill, before those players come into the team. Murakami lofts it forward. It's for Bukello. He takes a touch around the fullback and then fires it into the far post where Bocelli was arriving. He just needed to get there maybe one step sooner. Might have been able to manufacture something. Of course, it's the mid-season transfer window, so not just A-League players returning, but also players moving clubs. If some of these Box Hill players potentially lose their spot in the team, they may be able to filter out and maybe go and help Keilor Park, a team like that who look like being in a relegation battle this season. Or Murakami, little slip. Pretty good surface here at Wembley Park. We haven't seen too many players slip over tonight. It's only a couple of areas at the goal line that are a little bit chopped up. It's Tartaglia now for Box Hill. Box Hill back in control. Bocelli. Thought she might have had claims for a free kick there. None forthcoming. Receives it back from Grace Norbury. Bukello, Zikas continues her run. Bukello comes inboard. Murakami, Norbury. Oh, I don't think she knew Commodore was coming in from the back. Inglis. Tamal turning. Connolly doesn't have a lot of support. The blue doors close in on her quickly. Well, they haven't been a team that have scored a lot of goals in second halves this season, Box Hill United. They come into tonight, this match week, having scored 29 league goals. 21 of those have come in first halves. Of course, that's 23 now. Headed away by Leighton. No doubt that the Box Hill coaches will be wanting Pythagoras to go on with things and find a third and a fourth and a fifth goal and continue to increase that goal difference. As I've mentioned a couple of times already tonight, it's only goal difference that separates the top 4 teams in the Senol NPLW Victoria, approaching the halfway mark. Oh, Connolly, it's a short back pass for Maggie Byrne. We've played 17 minutes out in Caroline Springs, Spring Hills and Bulleen. It's still 0-0 there. Box Hill United will be hoping that they can go on here and have a nice win and hope that Spring Hills can maybe do them a favour and take a point off or beat Bulleen. Bulleen recovering after a slow start this season. Oh, bit of a friendly fire in midfield there. Can this be Keilor Park's chance? Commodore trying to poke it through. Amelia Ingles. Took a long time before she could win that battle. Eventually she did. And plays it up the line. Out of play. The other matches in the Senol NPLW Victoria this week, I mentioned the Spring Hills Bulleen match tonight. We've got 3 games tomorrow. South Melbourne at 2:30 at Lakeside are taking on the Melbourne City Academy girls as Piccolo bends it in and around for Murakami, who had her cross blocked. Box Hill will maintain possession. Alamein are taking on the Melbourne Victory Academy. That's at 3 p.m. And then a very interesting match as the referee's just having a look at Maggie Lena here, the captain for Keilor Park. Looks like she's all good to continue. Zekas. First time ball in. Keat is there. Wasn't able to get a touch. Somehow. At 4:15 tomorrow, Heidelberg United at home to Essendon Royals. And then 2 games on Sunday. Preston are at home against Bentley Greens. 3 p.m. kickoff at Jenna Steele Stadium. And also at 3 p.m. Burundurra and Avondale. That game, I believe, is out at Casey Fields and not the Veneto Club. Kawano. Bakello hurdling Amelia Ingles, who recovers quickly. And in fact wins the ball. Good intervention there from Bakello. Maneric keen to keep the ball alive. Back with Peliwoda now. And out for Tartaglia. Bocelli inboard for Kawano. Back heel. I think that was deliberate. Norbury. Oh, Bocelli, was she brought down in the area? She didn't really go down with a thud. She sort of went down in stages there. Sebastian Sterrell having a look at his linesman on the near side, and Bocelli has stayed down for Box Hill United. Well, she's just about been their best player this evening. They'll be hoping that this is nothing too serious. Amelia Ingles is also down with what looks like to be just cramp. It's Box Hill United look like they're going to ready what will be their final change. Do they want to bring Chiara Bocelli off? Has that little knock there maybe frightened them a little? Jessie Armstrong is getting ready to enter the fray. And that will mean that Box Hill United will have used all of their substitutions. They will still have 1 substitution window remaining. But unless they want to make a change at goalkeeper, it's going to be Erin Keats coming off. So no goals tonight for Erin. Replaced by the number 14, Jessie Armstrong, who's had to battle injuries early on this season. She's making just her 2nd appearance. Also come off the bench last week against Avondale. first-year player, another one that's come over from the Essendon Royals. Prior to that, she was a long-time Calder United player, Jessie. 2019 to 2024, made one senior appearance for Calder in 2024. So as I mentioned, they do have one substitution window remaining. But of course, they don't have any outfield players left on the bench. They've all come into the match. Keilor Park, meantime, have made just the one change. That was the change that they made at half-time, bringing on Michaela Chickenotta for Tamsin Smith. That substitution for Box Hill means obviously that Bocelli's A-OK. They're going to be in a bit of a pickle. We've still got 20 minutes to play. If they do have a player that receives an injury, hopefully it doesn't come to that, of course, but that could be interesting. As Bocelli, Kawano just misses it. Armstrong just beaten to it by Abby Connolly. Another errant pass going forward. Caitlin Tamal. Keilor Park about to make a double substitution. Bukello and Harmon. Bukello to the byline. Well done, Amelia Ingles. Lunges in. Will we have this change before or after the corner kick? Looks like it'll be the latter. Conceded 2 goals in 20 minutes, Keilor Park. They've now gone 50 minutes, just over 50 minutes without conceding. It's a small victory, I suppose. Short again from the set piece. Bocelli. Oh, now that looked like a handball. Yes. And so they'll get another set piece here. Box Hill. That corner kick didn't really amount to anything other than a foul. Still our substitutes for Keilor Park wait their turn. Whole lot of signalling going on. Bocelli's going to leave this one for Maho Murakami. Does she fancy going herself here, Murakami? Oh, she sure does. It's just bending a little bit too much, up and over. And here comes that double change. Chloe Harmon is going to be replaced by Georgia Thackeray. And Annika Gallagher, I believe, it's going to be a triple change, another one. Annika Gallagher to be replaced by Kaylin Sutton. Just trying to get my bearings on that third change. Play goes on the far side. Kaylin Sutton is on the left wing here for Keilor Park. Stathopoulos boots it long. Bocelli on the right side now. Zikas all the way to the byline. Corner kick. Georgia Thackeray, one of those changes, has popped up at left back here. Georgia come off the bench last week. Commodore. This is the battle in midfield. Into the final quarter hour we go at Wembley Park. Hasn't been a whole lot to write home about in this second half. Keilor Park have shown a little more of a glimmer offensively. Zekas. Leighton's head up. Maybe should have left it for the goalkeeper. Kawano. Armstrong. And Norbury's going to have to find Keilor here. Keilor and Bocelli have swapped flanks. Keilor running at the defence. Got beautiful skill, Nicolina Keilor. And now Tartaglia, the cutback. And that's played behind by Sutton for a Box Hill corner kick. It's Kaylin Sutton's first appearance since match day 7. Just her third of the season. "20-year-old, her second season at Keilor Park. Come over from the Georgies. And prior to that, was it the Gisborne Soccer Club. Ball into the back post. Byrne parries it away. Again, not with a hell of a lot of conviction, but it does the trick. Zekas battling with Ingles. Thackeray just plays it over and out. And they'll be disappointed, I think, Box Hill United, if they leave here tonight without this third goal. And all of the possession for all of the very nice football that they have played. Norbury. Bocelli. Oh, Kawano had to bail on that one, knowing that she was coming back from an offside position. It's been a Senol NPLW Victoria season that hasn't had a lot of late drama. Haven't had a lot of late goals. The match winners in deep into second half stoppage time. I imagine we're probably not set up for that tonight either. Chukanota, again, not taking any chances. Connolly's partial clearance. Tamal. Power. Magdalena chasing. It's been a quiet night for the strikers of Keilor Park this evening. As I mentioned last week, in that draw with South, there's an errant pass going forward there from Murakami. Last week in that draw to South Melbourne, they only managed one shot on goal. It was a shot on target. I don't think they've even managed that this evening. Murakami. Oh, deft little touch. Kawano, their two Japanese midfielders combining. And then it's taken by Armstrong. Down she goes. Bocelli. Oh, awkward clearance there. With Leighton. Back with Bocelli. Haven't been afraid to retreat tonight, Box Hill United, and be patient, backing in their passing game and their ability to poke and pull and prod at this defensive grid for Keilor Park. Chukanota. Again, these long balls tonight. haven't brought great dividends for Keilor Park after that trip to Altona City on Wednesday night. They'll be back in action against Burundurra in the league. That will be the last team that they play in the league before we go round the merry-go-round again. Here comes another change for Keilor Park. Abby Connolly, I think, being removed. Oh, Lena just having a little nibble there. Ingles battled well in the heart of the defence. Sutton trying to flick it forward for Chukanota. Armstrong trying to get past Connolly. A young lady who come on a moment ago was Lauren Sabatino for Keilor Park. Here's Bocelli in towards Kawano, the glancing header goes behind for a goal kick. Another half-decent opportunity for Box Hill. On another night, they may have had 5 or 6 goals. So, Lauren Sabatino has been playing in the under-20s this year, 11 appearances, 10 starts. Player that has joined Keilor Park from Avondale. Avondale, who have a big cup game coming up midweek next week, the week after, against Heidelberg United. You will be able to watch that game on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. NPL Victoria YouTube channel, I should say. There's a couple of games that will be streamed next week. Caroline Springs George Cross clash with Ringwood City. Armstrong and Connolly smash into one another. Leighton, long ball. Chukanota is after it. Kept it alive, but it favoured Tartaglia. And now Bacallo. Steam train rolling forward. Plenty of space to carry the football into. Looking around for options and then didn't pick a very good one at all. Thackeray can't clear it. Bocelli flags it down. Early release, the backpedaling Maggie Byrne. We'll put that down as a cross-come shot from Chiara Bocelli. So it'll be back to the drawing board for Keilor Park. Been a couple of tough weeks for them in the league. It was a really well-earned point at home against South Melbourne last week. South had been on a great little stretch of run. And they will be ruining their disappointing start here tonight. Long trip back to the western suburbs. Going down inside the first 2 minutes. Sydney Manerick goal in the second phase after a corner kick, and then Chiara Bocelli putting the finishing touches on a very nice piece of play 18 minutes later to double the lead. And that's where we have stayed. We've played an hour's worth of football since then. Just over that, in fact. Still at Box Hill United 2, Keilor Park 0. Bocelli dancing around one. Plays it back for Zekas, who plays it disappointingly past the near post and behind for a goal kick. Be interesting to see how they go in that match with Altona City in the Cup on Wednesday. A team in the 3rd division, Altona City, the State League 1 Northwest, going up against a team in the top division in Keilor Park. And Keilor Park, well, it'll be a bit of a culture shock to them. They likely will be the team that will have the possession and be the favourites to win after a tricky, difficult fortnight in the league. Bocelli again. Running into Thackeray, trying to get past there. Well done, Georgia Thackeray. Gets a little win there for Keilor Park. Manerick again with that speed. Tamal back for Ingles. Manerick's header will concede possession in midfield. Connolly hurries it on. Chuka not able to take control of that one. Peliwoda rock at the back again tonight. Heading towards the 90th minutes. No doubt there'll be some girls out there that are maybe just thinking about the hot shower. Power. Oh, dangerous back pass. Oh, and Byrne has sliced the attempted clearance. Power did nothing to help the situation. Sabatino. Chukanota. Can they spring forward here, Keilor Park, and just take one opportunity? Ball forward looking for Tamal. And they'll be interested in the mid-season transfer window as well, Keilor Park. Look to try and add some talent that can help them climb the table. Finals this season may be out of the question, but it does look like, just by virtue of the fact that there are clearly 2 teams worse than them, that they will be able to survive and go into a second season in the top division and look to get a little bit stronger and a bit better for the run, so to speak. Wild one there from Murakami. Okay, another change here. Caitlin Tamal is coming off, and we're going to see Mackenzie Runcheman coming on. She's the captain of the under-20s side, making her first appearance. Second season at Keilor Park, coming over from the junior ranks at Bulleen. Good to see Keilor Park giving some of their youngsters a bit of a go tonight. Chukanota, good work. Gets past a couple. Tenacious defensive effort there from Sydney Manerick. Kawano's header. Taken away from Armstrong by Connolly. Oh, Sutton, that was brave. Victoria Zekas coming the other way. And Box Hill United on their way to their 8th victory of the season. And on the live table, they will go to the top. It will depend on what happens in the game with Spring Hills and Bulleen. Bocelli, first time ball. Oh, it misses Kawano, it misses Bacallo. The ball has stayed alive. Running battle there between Bacallo and Mia Power. Just in that game between Spring Hills and Bulleen, we are heading towards half-time. That game is still locked at 0-0. Of course, the other teams that will be looking to capture their 8th victory and stay up near the top of the table across the weekend. Essendon, who, as I mentioned, are at the Village tomorrow to play Heidelberg United, and Burundurra, who started well this season, the Eagles, but their form's just started to dip a little bit. Although they will go in as as favourites in that match on Sunday against Avondale. Not big favourites, but they will be expected to win. They've had to play a few games away from home this season, Burundara, being co-tenants of the Veneto club. A couple of games at Egan Lee Reserve in Knox. As we venture into 4 minutes of stoppage time here beyond the 90. As Box Hill United continue to just rack up the passes. Oh, good work in midfield there by Sabatino. Murakami's able to maintain possession. Tartaglia, Bacallo. Kawano wants it delivered in towards the penalty spot. Bacallo comes a little deeper. Murakami. Is this the lead up to goal number 3? Bocelli dancing on the ball. Oh, showed a little bit too much to Amelia Ingles, and last touch come off Bocelli. I don't know if we're allowed to disclose our thoughts on the votes that our commentators hand out each match, 3, 2, 1, but I'll let you in on a little clue. Chiara Bocelli will be in the votes. Murakami, long ball forward, doesn't quite get to Kawano. Maneric, who got things rolling for Box Hill United the best part of 90 minutes ago. Bocelli in behind for Zekas. 2 blue shirts in the area. Oh, well done. Amelia Ingles again. Looks like a good player at this level. Amelia Ingles, very strong centre-back. Well, they come here tonight with ambitions of maybe causing one of the upsets of the season. They played the attacking formation, 4-4-2. They played with the 2 strikers. But Box Hill United, too good. It's Stathopoulos calmly in possession. 2 opponents closing quickly. They're a great ball-playing team, Pythagoras. They love to dictate terms with the ball at their feet, and they have shown their wares tonight. Murakami out to Bocelli. Swings it in. Byrne watches that one. Sail away. Be very interesting to have a look at the statistics of this match when they reveal themselves later on. It will be pretty one-sided, I would have thought. The scoreboard isn't. Box Hill United have done the job on Keilor Park again and laid down the law at home. Pythagoras' 8th win of the season. Business-like really from start to finish. 2 goals in the first 20 minutes was all it took to capture the 3 points for the defending champions. A goal in the 2nd minute for defender Sydney Maneric, and then 18 minutes later, Chiara Bocelli, who was just about best on tonight. She put the finishing touches on a lovely piece of build-up play. The Box Hill United were not really troubled throughout the night. Keilor Park a little bit better, a little bit more threatening going forward in the second half, but that's splitting hairs really. Box Hill United have shown tonight that there's quite a gulf in class between themselves and the teams languishing down the middle of the table where Keilor Park find themselves this evening. They'll try their luck again in the Cup midweek against Altona City. Keilor Park. Box Hill United will now turn their attention to the blockbuster Nike FC Cup clash with Burundara here on Wednesday night. For me, Brent Sternberg, and our cameraman Rahman, that will do us on a chilly Friday evening here at the home of the defending champions in the Senol NPLW Victoria. Box Hill United on any other night might have put another 2 or 3 or 4 goals past the opposition, but they will settle for the final scoreline tonight, which reads Box Hill United 2, Keilor Park 0.